This is what is this? I think we're in the 10th week of the class. We're really starting to get into calculus, as you guys have noticed, or I hope you guys have noticed that we're starting to get into calculus in the historical development of mathematics. I think it's starting to get very interesting, and we're starting to really see like how they were doing math back then is really similar. I mean, now it's like very similar to how we're doing math. Differentials, all sorts of stuff like that. The way they reason about things is getting closer to the way we reason about things, both in terms of the more sort of computationally minded things, but also we start to see the idea of proof opening up a little bit, or kind of reopening, and really sort of trying to dig down to what exactly is going on with calculus and differentials and functions and all of these sorts of things, and really trying to get some solid underpinnings there. Now, I asked a question in the discussion forums, and I think this is a question that I got from the book, so I can't take credit for it, but I like it. The question is basically, do we have the fundamental theorem of calculus yet? Actually, there's two questions. Number one, has calculus been invented at this point in history that we're talking about? Or does more stuff have to happen? Is it sort of the process of being invented? That's one thing that I want to think about. And a related question to that is, what is calculus? And then finally, the question that I was going to ask to begin with is, does the fundamental theorem of calculus exist yet in what was in the period that we're talking about? And what do you need to know to be able to have the fundamental theorem of calculus? So before you answer that question, or if that's one of the discussion questions that you want to answer, I strongly encourage you to look up a statement of the fundamental theorem of calculus in your calculus book. Look at everything that is said about both parts of the fundamental theorem. All of the exact, not just the result, the integral result, where it says the derivative and the integrals are related to each other, but actually see all of the statements, all of the terms, all of the things that are required for the fundamental theorem of calculus to be true, and then think about, at this point in time, whether all of those concepts exist or not. That's something that's going to lead you to the answer. And this is a question where there's sort of multiple answers. I think there's multiple answers, okay? But I don't want to say any more about it than that. Anyways, when I say there's multiple answers, I mean, in some ways the answer might be yes, and in some ways the answer might be no. Okay, so next week I will post information about the final project, and I'll give you sort of more detailed direction and things along those lines than I did for the midterm project. But I continue to look forward to looking at what you guys do in the homework and what you guys say in the discussion.